Hey guys, Cece back with another video, and today's video is going to be a full face of Fenty Beauty featuring the brand new Fenty Snap Shadows. Your first time watching me or my channel, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, make sure you go ahead and click the little notification bell right next to the subscribe button so you can always be notified of all of my future videos, because you never want to miss a single upload. You also want to make sure you're following me on Instagram at YvetteLuvsBeauty, and also my family vlog channel right here on YouTube at Bradley TV. And if you are a part of the hashtag notification gang, if you've already clicked that bell, make sure you hashtag notification gang down below in the comments section so I can shout you out in a future video. So where do we begin? Fenty finally came out with some usable shadows that your girl actually wanted to purchase. So if you guys have been following me for a while, then you know that I am not a fan of Fenty shadows. Those eyeshadow palettes are so unnecessary. I mean, unless you're a makeup artist or something like that, I just don't feel like those shadows are completely usable, and I've never bought any of the Fenty palettes. I've just never been impressed with the color shades in them, and they've just been really lackluster for me. So finally, Fenty has come out with some shadows that I feel like are usable for every day. So they came out with six pan palettes of these Snap Shadows. I only purchased 2 of them. I had like all 6 in my cart, and then I was like, you really don't need all 6 of those. So I did only purchase 2. I purchased number 6, and then I also purchased number 3. And I already have them snapped together. So if you look on the back of them, they have these little tracks on them, and then you just snap them together. They're pretty cool. I mean, and it's pretty easy to do. They just snap together like this, and then they become one single like unit. Now I can't open it while I got y'all here on camera. There we go. They become like one single unit. So pretty cool. They come with the mirror. They are really small, but I mean, I don't go through eyeshadow palettes that often, so it's really not a big deal. For this look today, I did use the Smoky palette, which is the number 6, and I think I got a really cute look out of it. So I'm not gonna talk your ear off too much. I do talk about the shadows more during the tutorial. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or if you've tried these shadows yourself, let us all know down below in the comment section, and let's jump right into the tutorial. All right, y'all, so we're gonna jump right into this tutorial using all of these amazing Fenty goodies. We're gonna do the eyes first because that's what we're gonna focus on today, are the brand new Fenty Snap Shadows. Now, if you've been living under a rock and don't know anything about the Snap Shadows, I'm going to read you the specs from the Sephora website. And let me see exactly what it says. It's a portable mini eyeshadow palette of 6 shades in a range of matte to shimmer finishes. Use them solo or snap any 2 palettes together for your own custom combo. They came out with 6 pan Snap Shadows, and this is what they look like. They're numbered from 1 to 6. I ended up getting number 3, and then I also grabbed number 6. And as you can see, I have them snapped together already. All right, so this is how the palettes come individually. So this is number 3, and it's the more neutral of the 2 palettes. You guys know I had to get a neutral one. And then there's number 6, which is the smoky one. These retail for $25. But if you buy 2 of them on the Sephora website, they do give you a $5 discount. So that's where I ended up getting mine. So let me just show you them. They are pretty tiny, but I think they're gorgeous. I mean, how many times do you pan an eyeshadow palette? That's something that I like to tell people when they say, oh, the highlighter's tiny or the eyeshadows are tiny. It's like, well, how many times do you really pan an eyeshadow? And that's kind of what I look at for $25. I felt like it was a pretty okay deal. Reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty, the little mini Huda Beauty palettes. Now those are $27 and you get 9 shades in there, so there is a little difference, but this is what the 2 Fenty's look like. So this is what it looks like when they're both kind of opened and snapped together. So very gorgeous shades. I think we're gonna work more with this smoky one today because I do wanna do a smoky look, but yeah. So every time I look at these shadows also, one thing I keep thinking about is Fenty like too late for these shadows? So I had all 6 in my cart at one point in time, and I was like, man, I really don't need all 6 of these. I literally have these palettes probably 3 or 4 times over. Like especially this neutral palette. I have a palette like this. I probably have 3 or 4 palettes like this. And then the smoky, I don't have as many like this, but I'm sure I've sold it or given it away or something like that, and I have had palettes like this. So it kind of gets to the point where it's like, are these necessary? If you don't already have palettes like this, then of course, you know what, give Fenty a try. This will be my very first time trying Fenty shadows because y'all know homegirl was not coming out with any useful shadows for me. Like I could not stand the palettes that Fenty came out with before. So I'm really happy she did come out with some like neutral palettes, but it's almost like, is it too little too late? Like I said, these remind me a lot of the little mini Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes that I absolutely love. And I have like every single shade behind me of those palettes, and I mean, it's almost like, do I need this? You know what I mean? So that's why I only ended up picking up 2, but we'll see what the shadow quality is like and all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna use all Fenty products today, so I am gonna take the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. This is the eyeshadow primer, and I'm going to use that to prime the eyes. So like I said, I do want to go with more of a smoky look, so I am going to use the smoky palette, but for my transition shade, I'm going to go in with this taupe shade right there on the end because there is really no transition color in the smoky palette. Alright, so just looking at that first shade, I don't see any issues with it. I didn't have an issue with how it blended. I felt like it didn't skip or anything like that, and the shadow is consistent, so I do really like that. Yeah, I like how that looks in the crease. So these 2 colors look super similar. This one right here and then this one right here. I don't know, they look really, really similar, like eerily similar. Like I didn't notice that before, but they look super similar. But this one just looks like a tad bit lighter. So I'm gonna take this shade and deepen up the crease a little bit and just put it almost right on top, but a little bit underneath that taupe shade. These shadows definitely have the pigmentation that I love, so that's always a good thing. Next, I'm going to take this like thinner blending brush. This is the Morphe M513, and I'm going to use this shade right here, and it's like a purple, almost sparkly shade, and I'm going to add this right underneath the taupey shade into the crease. So we're about to go like smoky because I'm going to take this black right here and I'm going to add it to my outer crease, my outer V area. So I also decided to take that black into my crease as well, just to kind of smoke out the entire eye. And I think we're looking good. Now I don't know if it's the brush, but that black's looking a little spotty. It's not, I don't know. It's not blending out the way I really want it to. Let me try the other eye. This one's blending a little better, so maybe it was just my technique on that other eye. This one just feels a little better. I'm excited. We're gonna take this shade right here, and it's like a sparkly black silver, and we're gonna put that on the lids. That is freaking beautiful. Okay, so I am a fan. I think this eye look turned out super pretty. I'm super excited and impressed. Like, I can't wait to see it with everything, the lashes, the face, the lips, all that stuff. So speaking of that, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add liner and lashes, and I'll be right there. And lashes have been applied. This eye look is pretty bomb so far. I do not think I have a shadow that looks like this lid color, so I'm kind of happy about that. Okay, we're gonna finish up the eyes a little later, but we're gonna move right into the face, and I'm going to take my favorite Fenty products. I'm going to use the Fenty Pro Filter. This is the True Matte Primer. True Matte or Pro Matte? True Matte Primer. And then I'm also going to take the Pro Filter Foundation. This one's in the shade number 370. So we're going to apply those. Alright, so I did get the whole face done. Let's move back into the shadows and finish up the eyes. I'm going to take the same smoky eyeshadow palette and I'm just going to smoke out my lower lash line. I'm going to do something super easy. So I'm going to take this taupe shade. Actually, I'm going to take this one that I haven't used yet. I'm going to take that taupe shade and I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line. So let's go ahead and round out this look and we'll finish up with the lips. Y'all, so this is the final look. Let's talk a little bit about these shadows because I think I've done countless other videos on the other Fenty products that I used, but these shadows, so at first I was kind of lackluster and unimpressed. Let me say that again. Not really unimpressed, but just I don't think the shadows are anything super special. So again, if you already have these colors in your arsenal, I probably feel like you don't need them. Now, that being said, this lid shade is blowing my mind. I don't have a shade like this, at least not that I've used yet, in my arsenal, and I am kind of in love with this lid shade. So the smoky one, definitely that's one to get for me. And then of course I also got number 3. I feel like this is just going to be a neutral palette. Now I've only used this taupe shade up here. I haven't used the rest of them. So maybe I'll get you guys an Instagram tutorial or something really soon so you can see how that one looks. But as far as the shades in them, I'm really unimpressed with the shades. I mean, they're super neutral, basic shades, which is what I got and what I expected. But again, if you already have those shades, I don't think they're necessary. As far as blendability and then also pigmentation, I think they're spot on. Good with that. I didn't have any problems blending. I didn't have any problems with the pigmentation of the shadows. This glitter shadow, it applied so well. Sometimes you can have issues with glitter shadows just being consistent and applying nicely, and this, I didn't have any issues with it. So I am good to go with the glitter shadows. So if all of them have the same formula, then I think you'd be fine. Other than that, I don't know if I have anything else to say. I think the shadows look nice. I think it's up to you if you need them or not, and if you want to get them. I'm kind of a Fenty junkie, so anything that Fenty comes out with, I'm totally buying for the most part. And so that's why I decided to pick these up. But did I need them? No. But that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed and you like this look. If you've already tried these shadows, let me know which number you got down below and what you think about them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I love you, love you, love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.